Adam Wharton, almost a little bit earlier in the summer when we talked about him, Bart, a manifest signing, a manifestation. We want him, but there was nothing too strong there. But that's changed in the last few weeks. The season's coming to an end, and there's real hope, suggestions that somewhere 60 to 70 million, as we said on the transfer show, almost a gentleman's agreement with Crystal Palace. He can make that move back up north, which is what he's looking to do. Although suitors from abroad are coming in. Now, people know Wharton. People have seen Wharton. Hopefully he's all right because he was unconscious during the FA Cup final. Apparently can't remember much of it, but he is an FA Cup winner now. So we've got to revisit the stats and just why Liverpool would be keen to get Adam Wharton into their side.
I think you and I both have a bit of a bias, slightly biased. If we weren't looking at data, the parents would be like, "Yeah, we're signing him up tomorrow." I think we both love the blood, right? I think that's fair to say, right? And sometimes you have to take a step back and go, right? The data, as much as if you look at his combined here, so cup collapse, that's every competition he's played in for Palace. He hasn't particularly played a lot of minutes, right? He has picked up and he's coming back and he showed this back end of the season. I think he's really started to put games together back to back, which wasn't the case when we last looked at him, right? It was a bit of a question mark about could he do it. So there is some things here. I'm like, yes, this is really, really starting to look interesting, shall we say? Aerially, still probably a little bit low, like 30% aerial draw rate. These are slightly low for a 6, but you can compensate that with what he does on the ball. And if we look at his pass types, he has a good range. He has some switches, has some crosses, etc. He also can play it short, medium, long. With short game, obviously 200 odd, but his medium game is higher than his short. It's higher, and his long game is still not. It's about a third of his medium and about half of his short. So a good variety in his play, which is actually going back to the previous play we signed at. Adding this to the 6 area can't be underestimated because it allows you to build from different parts of the pitch. And you're also not dependent on having to play Mac next to your 6. Yeah, you could play Mac further forward as well. So then you have a passer at every phase of the pitch, right? So there's a lot of things that I think to like about this player. Putting aside our usual, we still love him. But yeah, if you look at some of his other, just trying to go back to his main grid. So his main metrics here, though. This is over the last year, so he's only coming. You look at coming to form the back end of it, and things have started to improve. So progressive passes, 91st percentile. Yeah, that's exceptional for a midfielder. He's not playing in, let's just say, not a possession dominant side, right? Palace are a good side. They're not an Arsenal, City. The guys that seem to have a lot of the ball. So that's an impressive stat. And you can see that by the volume of passing isn't as high as you'd expect it to. Defensively, though, so he's a 6. He's looking to screen. So he makes interceptions. Cool. Probably makes a bit too many tackles for us. Okay, fine. But he also clearances. So when there's a knockdown for the centre half, he's there to pick the ball up and go and play the ball. So that's some good things. Yeah. Blocks we'd like to be a little bit high. As I said, aerials is a little bit low for a DM. Attacking wise, though, shot creating actions, 93rd percentile. Given he's playing further back, right? He's not a 10. He's playing further back, right? Yeah. Not putting any goals in XG, so XAG, sets expected is 76th percentile, and assisted goals is 92nd percentile. So he's not going to score you goals because he's in the 44th percentile of shots and the rest of it. But in terms of the creation side of it, I think he's really turned that on from when we last looked at him. If we compare him to our current incumbent at the 6. Right, let's get him up. So Grav. Right, now, arguably, yes, Grav has a very dominant profile this side. So it's aerial percentage. Yeah. stopping dribblers at him, progressive passes received, touches, take-ons, because he carries the ball, right? And he's been defensively improved for us. He's behind Wharton. He's better than Grab at progressive passes. Pass completion, Grab is actually higher, but as I said, so Wharton's only at 76, right? Which is probably a little bit low for a Liverpool midfielder. We'd expect him to be about another 10% above, but but if you look at the attacking side of it, Wharton outperforms Gravenberch, gives you more assists and more shot creating actions. So there is a lot to like about Wharton versus Grab, but Grab, to his fair, is better in certain elements, but they could dovetail probably each other quite well. Now, one carry, one passing. There's probably still a little bit of a hole here about neither of them want to actually score. But if we're going to go to more of a definitive double pivot, that's not a bad thing to have. They both can stay at home. Looking at around the dashboard for him versus City, so he's in and around these areas. Palace play, he's well connected here, though. If you look at where he is on the pitch, the number of lines coming out of him, it's a good connection in terms of where he is, and the number of duels around him, as well as red dots, which is unsuccessful, but there's also a lot of blue around him as well. So there are some things to like. He's on the ball probably once every other minute, which it probably will want that to be a bit higher. But then, if you remember, the passing volume was low for a brief, so that starts to explain that for you. Good things though, he does have some passes into zone 14 and the right half space. So always good to see him starting to hit Mo when he's not even playing with Mo at the moment. So that's good. But if you look at what that is, Palace as a whole didn't do a lot in those areas, but Wharton on his own did three of those actions. So that's quite a good percentage considering Palace didn't do a lot on those areas. You look at him, so about 5% of the EPV, which is in and around what Grab does again. Max started to hit the heights of around 15 to 20 per game, but the Grab is an attacking player. Pass success in this game is just under 80, so that's better. Dual success 50. On the ball was about 10% of the possession. So those could go up further if the team has more of the ball, right? That's just something to know. Where was his touch mapped? We look at where where was he? He was he was playing here in the sliver right in front of the back two. So that's not bad. EPV threat from those areas. He was creating about 7%, which is about right, which is what we looked at. What did he stop coming at him? He only lost 7% of the duels, which created EPV. So 93% stopped. That's pretty good. PPDA is 12%. He's in 12, 13, about 15% in the area he would have controlled. So it shows you he's doing a lot of defensive work to sort that out. XG wise, he did actually get some shots off in this game and create some XG, I believe. Yeah, he did. So overall, trying to be as objective as possible. I think he still dovetails with Brad really well. I think he defensively, these numbers have definitely improved since the last time we looked at him. Yes, we would love him to do a bit more blocking and be a bit aerially dominant in the air, but those progressive passes from deep are something to be admired. If we looked at just see if I can get up his XT, I can't remember off the top of my head. Quickly do. Adam Wharton is at 0.11 XT, which is just above what Gravenberch does. Okay, so I think there's a lot to like about his package, and if we can get the fee to around what we want, I don't know what the current, would you say 70 million gentleman's agreement for a young kid who could be the future for us at that position going forward. Homegrown is a big thing this summer. I think this could be a really good deal for us. Really good signing.
Without wanting to get too excited, and we sort of looked at those stats and they've improved a lot. But I mean, shot creating actions, you said there, 93rd percentile, over 4 a game. but also that big call out. And he said it in one of his interviews recently with Jonathan Northcroft that he sees the game as move it forward. I don't take the easy sideways pass, which probably explains his pass completion there. But the fact is, progressive passes over 7 a game in the 91st percentile. He could really be the player, and left-footed as well, so that adds a balance at the same time. But he could really be the player that progresses it for us, couldn't he?
Yeah, 100%. I think he would give us more option to build from deep, because without a player like this, you are relying on BVD, or Mac tweaking his game slightly. So Mac can do that, but Mac is a tempo setter. He can get in around, he can move the ball, and it's a difference. So I think having another player like this that can actually help you build could be amazing, and is quite happy to sit in and be a defensive shield as well, which is probably what we're going to need as well. We've got 2 flying fullbacks playing. So I think there are some stats here that I think could really improve as well, because you give the guy the more ball. He tweaks his game a little bit, so sometimes can be safer to maintain possession, but still gives us the progressive stuff. This could be really good for us, definitely.
Is exciting, and there'll bound to be a few in the system, so you can get it out. Yes, we play a different system to Palace. Yes, he sometimes has Lerma around him. Yes, he sometimes has Will Hughes around him, etc. But for Liverpool, what we're talking about, he could be so valuable. And as you said, Bart, the options to push Mac higher at times as well, more balance, to boss like the rotations he would bring would give us the strongest midfielder collection in the league by some distance. So much to be excited about by that one.